Hello everyone, as promised, here is a review of the Kingston 600X 32GB CompactFlash card. And this time, we're doing it inside the mighty King-Nikon D3S. Oh my! It's a hunk of metal, everyone loves it, I love it, except when I carry it for an extended period, because then it just becomes a total pig. Other than that, super nice camera, very fast, but fast comes at a cost. Just how fast is the camera, and just how much can the memory card handle? So, from our previous experiment with the Canon 7D, we found that the card is slightly slower, well, a lot slower than the manufacturer's specifications, but still a very good card for its value. And also keep in mind that when the camera is actually shooting, it doesn't actually write. So right about here, this is more evident in Nikon because the Nikon frame counter doesn't start going up until you start shooting, which means that, well, it's not actually recording any data until you actually let it stop shooting, and then it will write the data. When you're shooting, it just simply copies everything to the buffer. At least that's what I'm assuming. So so that's a key difference there. I'm not sure how Canon manages this. Maybe it's similar, but well, at least it's more evident in this case. So how does the card do in real life? Well, here we are to find out. Before we start, there are some specifics of the camera that I've set to. So if we can see here, yep, we can see that. Okay. So as we can see down here, the ISO is sitting at 12,800 for a fast shutter speed. That is. We're gonna take the quality to just raw, and I'll go to the sizes in a minute. And white balance right now is sitting at a set size of 30K. Just for the sake of less processing in the body and let us have all the CPU speed. And up top we have, let's maybe go a little faster, 500th of a second at f4. f4 is on the 16 to 35 f4 VR lens, AFS, and those are the specs. So we're currently sitting at frame counter 2. We're gonna go ahead and format the card. Format. So convenient. I love the 2-button moves. So, as you can see, we got a 2-card slot. Currently, we have the Kingston in here. And there we go. Since we're shooting RAW, I'm gonna explain the file size here. Nikon has a huge flaw in their system in which you cannot see the actual size of the file that you just shot. Now, this is a 2009 camera, so they might have done it in the newer ones like the D3S or something like that. Nobody knows. But anyway, the RAW files are approximately 24.7 megabytes each. Keep in mind that the sizes are 12 megapixels. And the JPEG files are sitting at a steady 6.84 megabytes. Now, all these numbers are recorded by a picture in that general area. So we're gonna try and get the same results this time. And there we go, we're in proper focus. Okay, here we go. Now, also keep in mind that I turned off active D-lighting, because active D-lighting takes away your buffer space a little bit. So for example, right now I'm sitting at, if you can see that, AFS card continuous remaining 35. Now this is for an estimate for RAW files. If I turn active D-lighting on, it's going to sit at about 28 for both RAW and JPEG, surprisingly. So it must take some CPU power away from there. So here we go. We're gonna point it that way. We're on continuous high, as we can all see. So here we go. And focus is correctly. We're on AFS. And here we go. Quite a lot of shots there. And as you can see, it's recording. So about a little faster than a second each. Fairly good speed, considering that each is about 24.7 megabytes. So there you go. We went about 2 over, so 35, 36, 37, 30, well, 37. So so assuming that was 35, and the buffer cleared fairly quickly for that, that was a pretty fast write. So let's do it again this time, except this time we're going to time it with a handy-dandy stopwatch. All the handy things I have. Okay, here we go. And we formatted the card again, so here we go. And whoops, it's not focusing. Okay, here we go. And fire. Chokes up, and it's writing. I started the stopwatch just when it stopped, so that we well, you know, get an accurate picture of when the camera actually started writing. So the light is still on, as you can all see, and it's writing. It's writing. Still writing. Oh boy. The suspense. So, a little overboard. I think I was a little overboard by like 1/10 of a second or something like that. So anyway, light stopped. 36 pictures. We went 1 over, and that took us only, can you see that? Yep. 24 seconds. 24.16. Holy smokes. Is that ever fast? Now, we're gonna also grab another gadget, part of my favorite gadget actually, the handy-dandy calculator. Here we go. Here we go. And so that's 24.7 times 36. We'll use the number 36. 36 pictures. So that's a total of, holy smokes, 889.2 megabytes. Ah! And how fast do we write that? 24.16 seconds divided by 24.16. Wow, those numbers are fairly close there. And as you can see, that's, oh dear, that's even slower than last time. 36.8 megabytes per second. Sorry folks, way below the manufacturer specification there. But guess what? You don't actually feel that kind of lag in real life. For some reason, the card is very responsive, writes very fast, and, well, generally, it feels pretty good. Now, here comes the concern with this one. Kingston, you might want to pay attention, because this is a 600X specification card, and it writes, well, as we can see, the speed is 36 megabytes per second, and this is when the camera's not shooting. Uh-oh, big problem. Especially when it specifies UDMA compatible and 90 megabytes per second. This is less than half of the specification. Now, well, another interesting thing that we have is the SanDisk card. SanDisk, oh boy, 60 megabytes per second. That's the one, extreme. And that one, at 60 megabytes per second, which is lower than the Kingston specification, actually writes slightly faster, believe it or not. In fact, we're going to get one right now and see how that one goes. Here we go. Very nice case for it I got. And here's the card. We're going to shove it in. Pull that one out first. Put this one in. There we go. And same test. Here we go. Reset the clock. Reset the clock. Here we go. And start. Is it going to start? Start writing. We're past the 10-second mark. And there we go. 20 seconds on the dot. However, as you can see, the light slowed down before we hit 20, so only about 19. Compare that to the Kingston 2416, and the card is supposed to be faster than the 60 megabytes per second. Uh-oh, big problem. What happens here? Kingston, you better check those numbers. Holy smokes. Oh boy, check those numbers, guys. Also, if you're looking for cards, this is a good deal with the money, but somehow, if you got the money, maybe you should buy this one, huh? And there you go. Similar results for JPEG, although the ones for JPEG really doesn't really have a significance to it since the JPEG files are so small, the camera just keeps running. So, you know, not a huge deal there. And buy the Kingston if you haven't got the money. Like, it's really not that big of a deal. So there you go. Have fun, and thanks for watching.